Good evening. Thank you for coming tonight. This is the one moment in time that happens every couple of years where the superintendent is actually in charge for a few minutes. So I'm gonna call this special organizational board meeting to order, and I'm gonna ask that Shannon Sharmer swear in our new members at the podium. So we welcome Lisa Anderson Levy and Dr. Dennis Baskin to the school board, and we will perform the oath of office by our board clerk.
Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
As clerk of the Beloit School District, I'm going to go ahead and do the official swearing in. So that I make no mistakes, I will read from here. And if you could raise your right hand. I state your name,
I, Dennis Baskin,
I, Lisa Anderson Levy,
having been elected
having
having
been
been
elected
elected
to the office of school board member,
to the
to the
office of
office
school
of school
board member,
swear that I shall support
swear that I shall support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially
and will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duty of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations to
Thank
you
you.
both. Welcome.
Thank you, and welcome again. We will be conducting, at this time, beginning election of officers for the board, and we will shortly be opening up nominations for the position of board president. This will be done through a paper balloting system. Board member Michael Ramsdale will be participating through our director of personnel, and that was agreed to by all of the board members at a previous meeting. He could not be here in person this evening. So at this time, if Todd Kabelka is prepared with the ballots, once we get to that point, I would open the nominations for president of the school board. Are there any such nominations? John Winkleman.
I know that Shannon was interested, so I'll nominate Shannon.
Thank you. Any other nominations?
I'll nominate John Winkleman.
Thank you. Any other nominations for president? And last call, one more time. Any other nominations before I close? All right, I close nominations for the office of president, and the board will now conduct their paper ballot. And apologize for the delay, but we are getting Michael's vote to be counted right now. At this time, the Director of Personnel will tabulate the results from the paper ballot and give us the decision or count. Okay, Board President Shannon Sharmer will now assume leadership of the meeting from this point on.
Thank you, and I want to take just a brief second to thank my fellow board members for your trust and commitment to moving forward this next year. And thank you, President Winkleman, because we are as strong as we are as a board, so I appreciate everybody's support. With that, at this point, I would like to open for the election of Vice President. Are there any nominations for the office of Vice President?
I'd like to nominate John Acom.
Thank you. Is there a second to that nomination?
Second.
Thank you, John. And are there any other nominations for the office of Vice President?
I would like to nominate Michael Ramsdale.
Thank you. And is there a second to that nomination? Thank you, John. One last call. Are there any other nominations for the position of Vice President? Going once? Going twice? Nominations are now closed. Mr. Kabelka, if you could provide us for ballots for Vice President, please.
Votes are in. Michael Ramsdale is Vice President.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open the nominations for the election of Secretary. Nora?
I nominate Michelle Schopp.
Thank you, Nora. For those who don't know, Nora has laryngitis, and she's struggling with us tonight. So if you can't hear her, I apologize for Nora, but I'll try and articulate. So she nominated you, Michelle. Are there any other nominations?
I would move a unanimous consent on that one.
Thank you, John. I would agree with that. May I hear by a vote of affirmation by saying aye? All of those in favor, Michelle Schopp for Secretary. Aye. Congratulations, Michelle. At this time, I would open the floor for the nominations for the position of treasurer. Nora?
I nominate John Winkleman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Dennis. Again, for the position of treasurer, are there any other nominations? Going once? Going twice? At this point, I would ask that the board would vote by saying aye for all those as a acclamation of John Winkleman for the position of treasurer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Congratulations, John. Let's now move forward with the election of clerk. Are there any nominations for the position of clerk for the Board of Education?
I would nominate Nora.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the election of clerk? Going once? Going twice? At this point, I would ask that the board, again, affirm by saying aye. All of those in favor of the election of Nora Gard for the position of clerk. At this point, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Nora. Congratulations, Nora. Wow, so here we are, folks, and again, congratulations to everybody, and a big thank you to all involved in the process. Where we are at now is we are at the board president appointments, and there are three that must occur this evening. They are appointment of the CISA 2 representative, the committee appointments, and the agency appointments. So, with the CISA 2 representative, Michelle, does that need to be by resolution? By vote, okay. So at this juncture, for CISA 2, I would ask Nora, would you be willing to serve as our CISA 2 representative? And she is willing to serve as that, and I would like to appoint Nora. And because this does require a vote, at this point I would ask all board members in favor of Nora Gard serving as our CISA 2 representative to indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Thank you and congratulations, Nora. Next, we have our committee appointments. For those of you not familiar with our committees, we have 3 board standing committees, of which include the Curriculum, Finance, and Policy and Personnel. At this point, I would ask for Curriculum. John Acom, would you be willing to chair Curriculum?
Certainly.
Outstanding. And for to round out your curriculum committee, I appreciate those that are willing to serve on a committee at 4 p.m. Some of us are not able to do so. So, Dr. Levy and Nora, would you both be willing to serve on this committee? Outstanding. Thank you so much. Let's move forward now to Finance. John Winkleman, would you be willing to chair Finance?
Sure.
Thank you. And as far as members on the committee, Dr. Baskin, Mr. Ramsdale, and Mr. Winkleman by default as chair, would you be willing to serve on the committee?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Let's move forward then with Policy and Personnel. Nora, you have served in this capacity as policy chair for the past few years. Would you be willing to continue to do so? Dr. Baskin and John Winkleman, along with you, Nora, would you be willing to all serve on the committee?
Yes, sure.
Wonderful, thank you. And that completes our committee appointments. Let's now look at agency appointments. WASB delegate, John Acom, would you be willing to serve in that capacity?
Yes.
Thank you. Nora, would you be willing to serve as our alternate? Thank you. Nutrition committee, John, would you be willing to continue on and stay fast in that?
Yes.
Wonderful. As for RCAA governance, we had some great discussion on this. And I think that, Lisa, if you're willing to do so with your background, I really think you could continue to move us forward if you'd be willing to accept that position. Outstanding, thank you. And then let's move to Liquor Commission. Dr. Baskin, would you be willing to serve on that committee?
Yes.
Outstanding, thank you. Library Board, Nora, would you be willing to serve on that committee? Thank you so much. Employee Relations, which was formerly the OBC. Mr. Ramsdale, would you be willing to serve on that committee? Outstanding, thank you so much. Pandemic Planning is no longer an active committee. If there were to be a pandemic episode, we would reconvene, but at this point there is no need for an appointment to that committee. Technology Steering Committee, I would appoint myself, and I do accept. For Merrill Community Revitalization, Dr. Anderson Levy, would you be willing to serve on that committee? Thank you so much. And then for the Diversity Committee, John Acom, would you be willing to serve in that on that committee?
Yes.
And Dr. Anderson Levy as well. Would you be willing to continue on in that capacity? Outstanding. That really serves all of our committees. There are additional appointments, but those would be done by the committee chairs in 2 weeks at our committee meetings. So with that, we are adjourned, folks. Thank you. As Todd is reassembling our nameplates, I'd like to call the business meeting to order. May I have approval of the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? John Acom, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Y'all please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, John. At this point, we're going to move forward with announcements and recognitions, which are perhaps the most exciting and most rewarding thing that we do all evening. So with that, with appointments and recognitions, I'll turn it over to Miss Melissa Badger. I apologize. First, we're going to segue into John Acom with our announcements for this evening.
Very good, thank you. I don't get to do the announcements often, so if I editorialize a little bit along the way, I hope you'll stay with me. First of all, we congratulate the Morgan School Destination Imagination team that has earned a spot at the Globals later this spring and wish them the best of luck in this final stage of competition. They're on the national stage, and by the way, they're still raising funds to get the kids down there. I need to work that in. Secondly, we are currently looking for volunteers to help time events at our annual 4th and 5th grade track meets at Beloit Memorial High School. Dates are Monday, May 18th, and Wednesday, May 20, from 9:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. You can choose to do one day or two, whatever your schedule allows. Sign-up information is located in the announcements on our webpage at beloitschools.net. And I've done this for about the past, I think 6 out of the past 7 years. It's fun, and you can get started on working on your suntan as well. The public is invited to join staff, students, and family for school celebrations before McGlennigan and Morgan close this summer. McGlennigan's celebration will be held on Sunday, May 17th from 1 to 3 p.m. The celebration at Morgan will take place on Thursday, May 28th from 5:30 to 7 o'clock p.m. Plans are being made for the annual School District of Beloit BEA Retirement Recognition Reception set for May 31st from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Ironworks Hotel. The event is open to the public, and we hope you'll join us to celebrate the years of service these staff members have given to the students of Beloit. Details will be posted on our district homepage at beloitschools.net. And that concludes April's announcements.
Thank you, John. I just want to add one to that, and that is the high school does have parent-teacher conferences this Thursday. For all the parents that may be out there and listening to us, please join us for your parent-teacher conferences this Thursday at the high school. With that, finally, Melissa, could you please join us at the podium and recognize these outstanding individuals and groups this evening?
Absolutely. We have some great recognitions tonight. And our first one, and these students have been sitting so patiently, and I really appreciate that and really proud of them. I'd like to call up our Cunningham PBIS student videographers up to the podium along with their teacher, Sean Pettit. A group of students in Sean Pettit's classroom not only are displaying PBIS character traits, as you can see from tonight, they are displaying them, but are promoting them through a series of videos. So let's teacher tell you a little bit more about that.
Well, it kind of started with one of our Friday PD sessions. One of the demonstrations was for an app for the iPads, and it was called TouchCast. So it looked really neat. So I downloaded it, and these kids had it on their iPad, and I basically let them take it from there. I said, this is a cool app, learn how it works. And they did. And we had this idea to start making some videos for the PBIS program. And what's really neat is when they're done with the videos, we send it to all the teachers in the school, and a lot of different classes have watched them, and a lot of the younger kids have commented about it too. I really have just basically been in an advisory role. I help them with their script and help them with editing and things when they're finished, but these guys do all the work. So, good job.
Actually, I'm going to give these certificates to your teacher here. You guys each get one in recognition of creativity and volunteerism in providing fellow students practical examples of PBIS lessons in action. So, I don't know if you want to call out their names and who's here today.
Jason Terrell, he's our cameraman and iPad expert. Eric Funk, Imelda Dominguez, Orion Reganold, Derek Strong, Captain PBIS himself, and Olivia Larson.
We have a surprise treat. We actually have one of the videos here tonight to show you. It's just a short few-minute video. I'm so excited. These are so wonderful. So I'm going to have you kiddos come over here because we're going to show it right up on the smart board. Which you guys ready to show me? Which one? You guys ready?
Why can't you just do the bullying one? No, actually, none of you two are. Hey, that's one we had its music. It's the first one.
Hello and welcome to PBIS News Channel. All PBIS, all day, every day. Our first story today is about the craziness in the hallways at Cunningham Intermediate School in Beloit, Wisconsin. Here's a report from the amazing Imelda Dominguez, who was on the scene.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I do too.
We made this too crazy. It's how you believe it.
Yeah, we made it too crazy.
This isn't even like a real show. This doesn't happen.
It's called PBIS, which means Positive Behavior Intervention. Thank you for that, Imelda. You're now going to an interview Imelda had with Miss Fanning, principal at Cunningham Intermediate. Hi, I'm Mrs. Fanning, the principal of Cunningham Intermediate School. The first question is, what is PBIS?
Well, Imelda, PBIS is positive behavior intervention support. And what it means to us is a way to recognize students for the positive behaviors they're displaying all the time.
How does PBIS work?
Well, we have a couple of different ways that we recognize students. First of all, we can recognize them through our CAP Cache. In CAP Cache, we identify which one of the proud attributes that they are displaying, either positive, respect, ownership, united, or driven. So then the teacher can recognize them on there. We also recognize students through CAP coins. So on the Cavalier coin, this one we can hand out as students are demonstrating positive behaviors like in the hall that they're doing, maybe they're walking appropriately, they've gone out of their way for somebody else. Any of the behaviors following down the matrix, we would recognize students for that. So we're really rewarding the students who are doing the right thing.
How do you think PBIS can influence things here at Cunningham?
Well, what we're hoping that happens is that every one of the students who are making great choices all day long, and there are several students who do that we say thank you for doing that, recognizing by our rewards that we have, then they can also turn in that CAP Cache for items that they can purchase in our school store. And then they can also turn these in for drawings that we have, like for some of the things that are in the display case that we picked up for this month to draw from as well. When kids see that they're being recognized for the positive things that we're doing here, that they're displaying, hopefully that spreads out to other kids and that just really encourages everybody to make those positive choices.
Why is PBIS good for the school and kids?
It's good for school because it really sets the climate and culture of positivity, which is what we want. Our teachers, our staff, everyone is recognizing the great things that students do every single day here. So really the focus is on the good that we see in everybody. And then the kids that are doing the right thing all the time, they're the ones who are getting recognized for making those right positive choices too. So I think it affects the whole climate of the entire building. And you can feel that when people are positive and giving away that great recognition for doing the right thing.
Well, do you you heard it from Miss Benny. Wow, it seems like you're always a Cunningham is in for a change. Hopefully the changes will make everyone feel more at home and safer. Let's check back and get in with Amalfa, see what's going on. Valerie, things have should be better at Cunningham. Oh, there's yeah, you're right. Things are sure looking up here in the hallways of Cunningham. Well, there you have it. Another PBIS success story at Cunningham Intermediate in Beloit. Stay tuned for more PBIS updates. I'm Mary Fox, and that's today's PBIS update.
Right. Thank you guys so much. We'll have some of these posted up on our website, and there's one that they just finished about anti-bullying, and there's one that they're in production, and I hear it's super secret, so I'm really excited to see that one coming up soon. So, for our next recognition, we have some more students, some older students. I asked that our Purple Tide swimmers come join me at the podium, along with our coaches, Dick Bogle and Kim Waite. The Purple Tide and Lady Tide are prime examples of student athletes succeeding in the classroom as well as in the pool. So I'll let your coach take over.
Quick summary of our season. This year, between grades 6 through 12, we have well over 200 student athletes in our program this year. And unfortunately, because we have such great kids, they're also involved in many other school activities. So Maggie was the only one to get here tonight, of all the kids we're recognizing. But we had outstanding lady, we just go by Tide now, but our women this year in the fall, we hosted the sectional swim meet. We had 12 young ladies swim in that meet. Broke 4 school varsity records. Maggie happened to be on all three of those relays, anchoring 2 of them. Of our 12 ladies that swam, 4 of them made academic All-American this year, which means they have to have a grade point average of 3.79 or higher for 7 straight semesters. Of those 12 young ladies, we had, 54 girls on the swim team? Something like that, I don't know. 50? No, really? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong team. I was trying to think of middle school, right? We had 13 4.0s on our team this year, and 12 of them swam varsity. So it's really nice to have team GPA of 3.97 for varsity. Our boys team, you might not think they're as smart, but they had 3.5 GPA. We had 2 4.0 GPAs on there. We had 2 young men make academic All-American and 2 made All-State. So it was a very good year for our team, and the future looks very bright since most of them are coming back for the next school year. So it's going to be a great year next year as well. I also, before I forget, this is Kim Waite, our girls' head swimming coach. Andre DeCoke is our head middle school coach, and another coach couldn't be here tonight was Brian Michaels, who works as an assistant with both programs.
And we have certificates for our students for tremendous academic achievement and teamwork on the 2014-15 Beloit Memorial High School swim team, earning the NISCA Gold Award for the 10th year in a row. So we have yours, Maggie, here tonight. Thank you. Good job. And I'll give the rest to your coaches.
Melissa, if I might, I just want to say thank you to Maggie for coming tonight and to our coaches, because while we strive to be outstanding in everything we do, to be outstanding in sports and academics is truly phenomenal, and it makes us Beloit proud all the way around. So thank you to our coaches, thank you to our students, to our student athletes. As we know, student comes first, and that is truly displayed by our swimmers, both boys and girls, with the academic achievements that we achieve. So thank you, everybody.
And now we come to a recognition of some of our outstanding district staff. With multiple requests, again, from last semester to continue recognizing outstanding staff in our schools, we recognize 3 to 4 staff members at each of our board meetings. At this one, we are going to start with Morgan Elementary School. So I asked Tina Hansen, principal there, to come on up along with her honoree, Susan Reifenberry Lowry.
One of the most challenging things we have to do is choose one staff person, because we know that our staff are amazingly exemplary and truly servants of working with our children. The one person that stands above and beyond is Sue Reifenberry Lowry. And as you can see, Sue exemplifies compassion and caring. And she lights up a room, doesn't she? Her smile truly does light up a room. And one thing that we have at Morgan are ambassadors of education. And the ambassadors help set the tone of our school. And that tone is set through that genuine, caring, welcoming hug. I'm Italian, so that welcoming hug is very important. And embracing our students and our family members and our staff is critical. When I need someone to take a challenge or an initiative on, without a doubt, Sue looks to me. She doesn't look down. She looks to me with a gleam in her eye and a bright smile. And her expertise takes on the challenge with great rigor. And she sets the mold. She really does. As you know, in education, we have amazing numbers of initiatives. And Sue's one that's willing to tackle them and mentor people along the way to do it collaboratively. Her leadership is one of great expertise, one that I look to collaboratively to look towards solution-oriented approaches on how we handle things. And Sue's positive demeanor helps us accomplish that very positive solution-oriented approach. She's the heart of our school. She truly does set a pulse on compassion and genuine character. And I definitely do get a hug at 1, 2, or maybe 3 a day from her, so that's always great. And teamwork is so critical. One of the most important things that we've done as we've reconfigured our school is to develop a highly collaborative, very cooperative culture. Sue supports that. One of the biggest challenges we've taken on this year is the Badger exam. And a lot of people had some anxiety over that, and Sue would calm that anxiety and bring a team of our interventionists in. And many of those are retired teachers. I'm soon to join them. And so our technological advancement slows down a little bit after we retire, just a little bit. And Sue would cultivate that and mentor them and support them. And now there are advanced proficient Badger exam proctors within the building. It's truly an honor. And without a doubt, ever since Melissa asked to choose a person, Sue was top and foremost and continues to be that. And I know she will bridge Frusen and continue to build that tremendous culture at Frusen. So it's my honor to recognize the excellence of Sue Reifenberry Lowry.
I'm in denial about it.
Before you go, Sue, for recognition for your professionalism, caring, leadership and learning, and dedication to the education and well-being to the students of the School District of Beloit, and I Make a Difference, Ben.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Okay, Tina molto bene. That's all I can say in Italian. That's all I know. It means very good, but that's about it. So I did get to use it. I'm so excited. I got to use it once in my life. So and next up, I call our honoree from Robinson Elementary, Pebbles Harris, and her principal, Sam Carter.
It's my pleasure to be here tonight. I think it was several months ago when we nominated our next district staff, our building staff member to be honored, and I looked at what I wrote several months ago when Miss Pebbles first came to our building. It was shortly after that, and we know each other so much better now. So this lady is an integral part of our staff. She has a wonderful sense of humor, and she genuinely cares about kids. I've seen her pay for student meals out of her own pocket when students didn't have the money to eat. She solely cooked for our soul food dinner at Robinson. She did all the cooking for that, and I have to say her greens are maybe even a little better than my mom's, but it's a pleasure to work with her. She has a great sense of humor. We share a love of cooking and talk about that frequently, but as we have several staff members that can attest that she brightens up the day, not only runs that kitchen extremely well and takes care of our 470 plus students each day as they come through the line and in the cafeteria, but also cares about the staff, has cooked for staff, is there to put a smile on your face and to laugh and to share, and is truly a part of our building and makes a difference in the lives of all of our students. And I appreciate her very much.
I can breathe now.
Well, I can definitely tell that, Carrie, you're the heart of the school, so I'm very honored to hand your certificate of appreciation along with the I Make a Difference pin.
thank
You
you.
make a difference.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pebbles. Our next honoree is from Todd Elementary School, so I asked the principal, Melody Wergo, to come up along with the honoree, Andy Rohrbeck.
Well, I have to tell you, when I came to Todd 4 years ago, Andy was teaching in kindergarten, and I remember him coming into my office and say, okay, I'm not going to try to brown nose you because that's what everyone says. But Andy's an interesting person. He has so many different talents, and I've learned more of them over the 4 years I've been there. But he's very flexible. He's very creative. He has a willingness to go above and beyond what most of the other teachers are willing to do. He was, as I said, a kindergarten teacher, and then he got moved to second grade, and so all these students he had in kindergarten, they were begging, can I have Mr. Rohrbeck again? Can I have Mr. Rohrbeck again? And so all those that don't get Mr. Rohrbeck again, or they didn't, weren't very happy with that. He works mainly with females, as you know, in an elementary building. He's one of the few males that are in our building, so he has to have a really good sense of humor to be able to do that. Many times we'll be in conversation, and he'll just turn and say, I think I need to walk away now. But he also brings a calmness to the building. So it's just interesting. You go into his classroom and everyone's busy, busy, busy. He's got lots and lots. He's in a co-teaching setting, and many times there's probably 40 children in that room. And they're all involved in things. And he's just going about his business. He never says no. This year we had so many students that wanted to do Destination Imagination, and we didn't have enough coaches, as usual. And so Mr. Rohrbeck said, okay, I can do 2 teams. Now, by the time that adventure was over, he said, okay, look at this list. These are all the reasons I shouldn't do 2 teams next year. Remind me where that is. But he always does that. He coaches drama. He does student council. So he makes a lot of connections with kids in the building, not just in the teaching in the classroom, but outside of the classroom. He's one of my most technologically savvy people I have. And as Tina said, as you get older, we're not as technology savvy. So I go to him all the time and say, how do you do this? But he just creates things for students. He uses iPads all the time in his classroom. The students, he's creating stories, he's creating math problems. So it's just interesting to go and sit and watch him some days. He took on the leadership role of the effective educator. So he's one of the coaches in the building. Many of my staff go to him multiple times, especially now it's getting close to the end of the year. How do I do this? How do I do this? So he's been a very integral part, but the most interesting thing is he thinks he's a superhero. And many times at staff meetings, he'll just break out in song. He's very into drama, and he loves to sing. So I thank you so much for all you bring to Todd. The parents, the staff, and the students love him, and they always want to be in his room. So if I could clone him, everyone would be happy. Thank you, Andy.
I do have to say, too, I appreciate you helping out with United Way, because you are definitely go above and beyond and always willing to help. We appreciate that. So we have a certificate of appreciation from you, from the Board of Education, along with the I Make a Difference pin, which you do every day. So thank you so much, Andy. Thank you. Now we had an event at McNeil last month, so we had their recognition tonight. So I asked Tony Bosco to join me at the podium, and Joe Brydox. Yep, there you are. And we have two honorees from McNeil, Cindy Spurger and Maureen Mattoon.
Come on, Cindy. You're not getting out of this one. Well, I've got a tightly wound, powerful argument here as to why she is our great extra miler. I'm just kidding, it's from the heart, it's all from the heart. But I'm going to read it. These guys have been extemporaneous, and I don't trust myself, so here it is. McNeil Intermediate School would like to recognize Cindy Spurger as a staff member who is always willing to go the extra mile. Recognizing Cindy for going the extra mile not only assumes she excels in completing her normal duties, which are considerable, but in completing tasks that go far above and beyond those expectations included in her job description. Cindy, in addition to providing critical support for her own special education students and families, acts as a grade level and PLC leader, an unofficial tech coach, and an unofficial assessment coordinator. In her role as grade level and PLC leader, Cindy attends twice monthly leadership meetings and then shares that information to her grade level colleagues. She also co-leads weekly PLCs at McNeil, helping guide the collaborative process among her grade level colleagues. In her role as one of McNeil's unofficial tech coaches, Cindy has pioneered the use of online learning platforms as sources of formative data for use in both the classroom setting and as artifacts within the context of effective educator requirements. Finally, Cindy, as our unofficial assessment coordinator, works with administration to organize and coordinate accommodations and supports critical to student success on many important assessments such as MAPS and the Badger exam, which she has been an absolute rock star in the last 2-3 weeks, so we just appreciate that so much. Cindy Spurger is a valuable member of our Lancer family. She's a true professional who strives for excellence, not only in her capacity as one of our special education teachers, but also as an extra miler in all of those tasks and activities which reach far and above that which is expected. Thank you, Cindy. We love you at the home of the Lancers.
He always purposely raises the microphone when I follow. I'm getting used to it. We're getting there. Thanks, board, for having us. It's an honor to be here. I'm here with Ms. Maureen Mattoon, 7th grade math teacher at the home of the Lancers. She's here because of her excellence in the classroom. Since joining our Lancer family several years ago, Ms. Mattoon has proven herself a leader within the classroom, her mathematics professional learning community, the 7th grade, and the home of the Lancers. She is highly skilled at meeting the academic, social, and emotional needs of a very wide range of Lancer students. The mathematics achievement data of her students shows very well in comparison to grade level, district, and national standards. Maureen's classroom is engaging in so many ways. Instructional strategies such as flexible groups, strong co-teaching, multimodal sensory engagement, guided math, and the innovative use of technology are seen in her classroom on a regular basis. These instructional strategies and many more create a classroom that is cutting edge, enjoyable, productive, and just awesome for our students. Beyond the classroom, Ms. Mattoon is highly collaborative within her content and grade level and has worked to be an integral part of our school community through her role as both a teacher and an innovation coach. Ms. Britta Gagne, our school instructional technology coach, was on maternity leave for a while, and Ms. Mattoon, along with people like Ms. Spurger and others in our building, really helped carry our staff through our iPad initiative, through Teachscape, that kind of stuff, and the contributions she makes on a daily basis are incredible. Is it Thursdays, or when do you guys have lunch as a 7th grade group? Well, you eat every day, but Wednesdays is okay. Monday is soup day. I'm at lunch duty, and apparently they're kind of having a party up in the 7th grade area. But on a daily basis, the 7th grade team is so tightly knit because of the commitment they've made to each other. I do lots of walkthroughs every day, and I love going in Ms. Mattoon's classroom because there are usually kids all over the place. There's something on the smart board. They're working on something. The co-teachers are circling the room. It's just an enjoyable experience. I usually sit down with a kid and learn right along, or blow the dust off of some of the math, let's say that, right along with them. And I just appreciate your excellence. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Something for you too. Certificates, and obviously carrying the extra mileage, it's really inspiring. So for your work, we have a certificate for Maureen. Thank you. And Cindy, as well as the I Make a Difference pin. So thank you so much for your work. Thank you. We have another staff member here tonight for recognition. Tammy Flanders. She can join me at the podium, our nursing coordinator for the district. Tammy was instrumental in conducting the Wisconsin Asthma Coalition School Walkthrough Program in our district, supporting the WAC's mission to improve asthma management, enhance the quality of life, reduce disparities, and prevent asthma-related deaths. So to talk a little bit about that school walkthrough program and how it works, I'll let Tammy say a few words.
This was an exciting opportunity. This was the 2013-14 school year, whenever we had gone through a significant reconfiguration with all the new construction. So I was really excited to invite the Wisconsin Asthma Coalition to come into a couple of our buildings and do an assessment on how we're doing as far as providing a safe and allergy-free schools in our district. So what that involved was them coming into our building and initially just doing an assessment and doing a school walkthrough, going through every classroom in the buildings. And really, to be honest, I was so pleasantly surprised with all the construction that we did. And I really want to also recognize Janelle for the business services, for all you do for creating a safe and allergy-free environment for our schools, because I know that is like a strong focus of what you are fighting for every day. And also the safety committee. I mean, I think you guys do a phenomenal job in the district keeping our district safe and allergy-free. And I also want to give a big shout out to my school nurses, because they're also identifying students every day, identifying students with asthma. It is the largest health condition that we have in our district, and it can potentially be one of the most fatal. So they are boots on the ground every day, identifying these students and providing a safe environment so they can have a healthy learning environment. So I want to say thank you.
Well, we appreciate you taking the initiative to do that, and I know it's a lot of work, so thank you for doing that program. And she is actually receiving an award at their state conference this month for her work, so really, really happy to have her on board here. And in appreciation for your work, we are recognizing for proactive leadership in identifying asthma triggers through initiating a Wisconsin Asthma Coalition school walkthrough program in the school district of Beloit, promoting a healthier learning environment for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John Aiken, please.
I just want to say that 8 years ago, when I first got on the school board, student asthma was one of the first things that I got involved with. And at that time, we were doing such basic things as looking at whether or not our cleaning materials that our janitors were using were in fact hypoallergenic. They weren't. And we've come such a long way, and we've done so much to raise awareness in the entire district about this situation. A lot of our absences with our kids were caused by childhood asthma, and when they were here and they weren't feeling good, it's awfully hard to learn well if you're not feeling good. So it helps our learning environment. It helps us take care of our kids. It helps a lot of things and keeps the school district going. So it's a big deal, and thank you.
For our last recognition, we were recognizing Missy Henderson for her years of service on the board, and unfortunately Missy couldn't make it tonight. So she asked me to read a couple things, just a short little blurb. Dear friends, although I cannot be with you this evening, I want to send my congratulations to the newest school board members. And to the other board members, I want to express my deep appreciation for the tremendous commitment you are making to ensure that our community provides its students with the very best opportunities available. Serving on the board has allowed me to participate in the highest endeavor, and it has been an honor. I am Beloit proud to have worked with you and alongside this district's very dedicated teachers and hardworking staff and administrators. I will continue, as I've done since moving here decades ago, to support our schools and all the educational activities that go into making Beloit a strong, vibrant, successful community. So those were Missy's words for you.
Thank you, John. Aiken, please.
I'd like to add that several hallmarks of Missy's. One, she was one of the most, she is, I don't want to be speaking of her in the past tense, she's still with us. She is one of the most ethical people that I've ever met, and her decision-making has been always based on what she believes is right. She cares deeply about the kids in this district. She has a long history with this district as an employee, as a social worker. She knows the district well. She has no motivation in terms of ambition or anything like that for being on the school board. Her sole motivation was to serve our kids, and that was her motivation. And that's really, I think, a fitting tribute to Missy, because everything she did was ethical and on behalf of our kids.
Thank you, John. I too wish that Missy could have been here this evening for us to thank her for all that she has done for the school district of Beloit and to thank her for her commitment. You're going to be missed, Missy, but I know you won't be too far away. You've been with this district for many, many years, both as an employee and as a school board member. So I look forward to having continued conversations with you and your input in the district. With that, I would like to ask, are there any citizens or delegations that would like to speak to an area of interest that is not posted on this evening's agenda? If so, I would ask that you would move forward to the podium at this time. Again, if there are any citizens or delegations within our company this evening that would like to speak to any item on the agenda, I would ask that you would move forward to the podium at this time, because there was some legal phraseology here that I would need to read. Otherwise, we can move forward with tonight's agenda. Seeing none, let's move forward then, and we are at the point on the agenda, which is the superintendent's report to the board. Dr. Johnson, please.
Good evening. Tonight, I'm proud and pleased to have Hackett School Principal Marcia Schwingels and staff members who she will be acknowledging and introducing with her for a brief school update on Hackett Elementary School.
Right. Good evening. I am Marcia Schwingels from Hackett Elementary School, and I do have a few staff members with me here tonight. And just wanted to give an update on what's going on at Hackett School for this school year. For those of you who were on the board last year, you may have remembered you were a little surprised at some of the things that I presented to about how weird things were going on at Hackett and some of the unique furniture that we had purchased in order to meet the needs of our students. Some of the ways that we were working on the early childhood skills in order to improve the reading, such as climbing on tummies and maybe some unconventional kindergarten learning. And we're still doing those, as well as some more initiatives that we are looking into to meet the whole needs of our students. So what we're going to look at tonight are some of the grants that we have earned throughout this school year and what we are doing with that grant-funded money. First of all, we want to look at what are we doing to keep the kids healthy physically. So these are some of the grants that we have earned this year. Our gym teacher has been very active in her grant pursuing, and she has received an Ecolab grant for $3,000, as well as a State Line Community Foundation grant for $300. This particular money is going towards extending the rock climbing wall in our gymnasium. And then there's extra challenges that are also separate items to keep the kids physically healthy during gym class, as well as this will be used in our after school and family nights that we're going to have as well. The family fitness nights, she received a grant from McDonald's for $1,000, and McDonald's has a new healthy initiative, and part of that is we're purchasing some of the wireless activity trackers, the Fitbits that can go on the wrist, and those are going to be part of our monthly nights that we have at Hackett School. So we're going to have a monthly family activity night, and the parents and children are both going to receive an activity tracker when they come in. They can track their activity for the whole time that they're there, and then we're going to have them keep track of their activity throughout the entire school year and provide some incentives for the winning activity that they've done while they're at school with us, and promoting the family time together as well. Another way that we've received is a Fuel Up to Play grant for $800, and this is helping with the walking club that our physical education teacher, Mrs. Carey, is doing with students after school, as well as providing healthy snacks that can sometimes cost a little bit more money than the not healthy snacks for our family activity nights that we do at school. But not only do we need to keep our kids physically healthy, we know that we also need to really focus in on their social and emotional needs. We have many students who can really use some extra focus on this due to the traumatic situations that they can go home to on a daily basis. So this is an area that we've really honed in on this year. We're really proud of the Beloit Community Foundation's grant of $16,000 that we received at the end of last year to go towards this year. And one of the big things that we've done with this grant, provides for us a family resource liaison. And she has become just a vital part of our school. Kelly Berg is our family resource liaison. She plans, organizes, supervises parent events at Hackett. In fact, we just had a literacy night tonight, and then she came over after that. She gets to know the specific needs of our families and where they have barriers to help with their education, and helps the parents overcome those barriers, whether that be transportation, a language barrier, their lack of knowledge about how maybe the American education system works, and she helps them overcome those needs. She provides programs, workshops, and events to promote family well-being and to help empower parents to take an active role in their child's education. She also helps identify some of the students in our building that would benefit from a skill building education or some little focus groups that we do, and then communicates with their parents to get permission to have them do these little extra focus groups. The curriculum that we use in these focus groups also came right from this grant, and we use skill streaming, and it is a proven research on there that it really helps to improve the skills of students. We've had some groups such as students who have a lot of anger, so we've reduced fighting on the playground due to skills that they've learned in this curriculum. We have partnered with some community members, and they come in and help teach the curriculum, so we can bring in, again, being in a primary building, we don't have a lot of males in our building, And so we have brought in a community member to help teach this because it's males are going to respond better to a male. So we've been able to bring in some community members to help teach these skills as well. We have done groups on aggression, immature behaviors, students that are withdrawn. We've done overly aggressive girls group and how to tame your behaviors. And we've done 16 different groups so far this year. And all of that is data driven due to discipline referrals or reports that they would need to speak to a counselor for emotional needs. One of the other things that we've been able to do with this Community Foundations grant is provide sensory tools. And the sensory tools, I have a basket pictured there, and those are just some tools that can be used right inside the classroom. And the research shows that kids with trauma also have sensory needs. And so sometimes these sensory tools can either calm them or stimulate them depending on what their need at that time can be. So when our students come to us in these stressful situations, they're often in fight, flight, or freeze mode. And so we've done some teaching of our teachers on how to use these sensory tools in the classroom in order to try to keep the students in the classroom, because when they're in these fight or flight modes and they get removed from class, then they're not learning. So we've been able to educate both the child and the teachers on how to use these so the students can remain in the classroom and self-regulate themselves. Sometimes they're maybe unable to self-regulate themselves in the classroom. So you'll see a picture of our rainforest room, and that's a room that we have right in the school, and we can stop children from having their major blowouts that they have, which can then remove them from the classroom for the entire day, by taking them to this rainforest room. And it's a calming place. You can see they have chairs where they can rock. Sometimes students like to have deep input, and so there's a crash mat. They kind of help themselves get the deep input that they need. And then we're able, and we've seen students who have been removed from class multiple times, go to the rainforest room, take maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and they've self-regulated themselves, and they're able to learn for the rest of the day. So they're getting much more time in the educational setting, which is, of course, our goal. We've really worked on helping our teachers understand and do a trauma-informed classroom. We know that if it affects how children feel, how they behave, how they think, and these are some of the statistics that we know of nationally, and some of those at Hackett, where it says 1 out of every 4 children has been exposed to a traumatic event. At Hackett, that is 3 out of 4. So we know that these are areas that we really need to hone in on in order to help our children. This is one grant that we're in the process of looking towards, and you'll see here that there is a stand-up desk. That's the one on the right. And then the picture on the left, those are actually bikes. So they are pedaling there as they're reading and learning. And studies show that when kids are given the opportunity to stand and move during classroom time, they burn more calories and seem to have a greater attention span. Movement and brain function are heightened as the blood is flowing through the body. So we are looking into a grant to purchase a couple of those machines as well. And we can't teach kids if they're not at school. This is our dream grant. We know it's quite out of our price range right now, but I'd love to buy the little Hackett hauler so we can actually help some of our kids get to school if they have transportation issues or whatever their barrier is. And so that is our next dream grant to have at Hackett. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing with us. Are there any board members that would have any questions or comments at this point? Thank you. It's always exciting to see what you guys are doing, and the Hackett Holler, I gotta say, is something I had never envisioned. So it keeps us stretching and looking. I'm just wondering where the winter flaps are. And
They've got snow clothes.
Do they?
We've got our social worker. She's willing to even wear a conductor hat to drive that, okay?
Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you again for sharing with us
All
tonight.
right, and then I have just a little souvenir so you can always keep Hackett close to your heart.
Absolutely. And while Marcia's handing those out, I'm going to turn it over to reports to the board. And first up, we have student board member reports. To our student board members, please.
Alrighty, good evening, everybody. First up is Beloit Memorial High School prom for junior and seniors and any invited freshman or sophomore is this Saturday, May 2nd from 7 to 9 p.m. And there's also an after prom party that is open to all of those attending prom, and that is from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. And that is just $1 admissions cost, and it will be at the Beloit YMCA. I think that is actually from 7 to 11 prom. I think it's 7 to 11. Two, all sophomores are currently in the process of taking the ACT Aspire testing, which will be preparing them for next year's ACT when they're juniors. And next, spring sports are doing fairly well. Baseball team won their game last night against Stoughton, 9-5. Softball team won both of their games against Madison La Follette on Saturday. Girls soccer took first in the Comets Triangular on Saturday in Delavan Darien, and I know our track team is also doing very well, but we could not find that many stats on that.
So we also have some awards nights coming up at the high school. The Beloit Memorial Underclassmen Awards Night will be on Wednesday, May 13th at 6:30 p.m. The Beloit Memorial Senior Awards Night will be on Wednesday, May 20th at 6:30 p.m. In other news, the Jazz Band 1 will be leaving for the Essentially Ellington Competition and Festival in New York City next week on May 5th. They will be competing on May 8th at 2:45 p.m. Beloit Memorial is also putting on Susical the Musical May 21st, 22nd, 23rd at 7:30 p.m. and a 2 p.m. show also on the 23rd. And we would like to recognize senior Brenda Hernandez for signing with UW-Milwaukee for cross country and track and being granted a full ride.
Thank you. And I know there's also boys golf that is in a rebuilding year, but they're doing very well considering. Did you want to ask, John? Okay. All right. So the standing question that has been in the past, and I'll ask this evening, are what, if any, are the hot topics at the high school right now?
I'm say, as usual, when we get closer to dances, prom is usually, or prom, homecoming, prom, or winter formal. Definitely some hot topics. Also, we're sort of getting into the stretch of last full month of school, so summer being so close is very nice. So I think those two are two main things that are happening right now at the high school.
I think, yeah, graduation, that always. I think AP testing as well has been a really hot topic. We're all testing next week and the week after, so kids are all preparing for those and reviewing for those exams. So.
And thank you for sharing. And I did look at the AP testing calendar, and I am impressed at how it is spaced out over 2 weeks, because I tried to put myself as an AP student thinking, how am I going to plan for it? So I pity the students that do have 2 on one day. I don't know how they do it, but I am grateful that it is extended out over 2 weeks. So thank you both so much. Let's move now to committee reports. First up, we have Finance, Transportation, and Property Committee. John Winkleman, please.
Okay. We reviewed purchase orders and did a few of those. We talked a little bit, Janelle came and talked a little bit about Beloit Recycling and Solid Waste Program along with Jodine Saunders from the City of Beloit. And it's a wonderful new relationship that we have with them. And they do a lot with us and are looking to do more. And so we've really been able to grow particularly the recycling piece, I think, in some ways of what we've been able to do. And so congratulations to Janelle and company to make that happen. It's been great. We had a quick review of the district copy center overview. There's going to be some changes that'll move us to a copy center in Aldrich, I think, and there's a plan right now to help everybody be able to do that and be able to, without too much drama, not affect too many lives as we change our copier approach and save some money along the way. We talked about insurance agency brokerage services, and there's a motion coming to us that we select Arthur J. Gallagher and Company for brokerage services after a good bid and a good bid process.
We moved to the full board to purchase furniture for Fran Frusen, and also to do keyboards. And then Janelle presented us with budget adjustments, which we see normally every month. And then we did a quick waiver of rental fees. And that was our meeting.
Thank you, John. Are there any questions or comments for John? Seeing none, let's move forward then with curriculum and instruction with John Acom, please.
Okay, the Curriculum and Instruction Committee met on April the 24th. We looked again at the monthly fund development report. This is the ongoing report on grants applied for, grants awarded, and so on. We've talked about this extensively at the last meeting. So I'll move on to the next thing, which is Youth Options. And Youth Options is a program which is not found in every state. And essentially what it does, it allows a college student or a high school student who is eligible to take a college level course that is not offered in a high school, the ability to go take it, and the tuition is paid for that student. Other states, for example, allow something like this, but the students have to pay their own tuition to the local college. And we have a number of applications for Youth Options, which are going to come to this before this board a little later this evening. But some examples of the kinds of courses that some of the kids are taking include Calculus 3, linear algebra, oil painting, evolution, differential equations, principles of economics, American literacy, traditions, and there are many more. You can find it in the purple packet or in the board business packet online if you'd like to see the whole list. But anyway, it's a tremendous opportunity for our kids. A lot of kids take advantage of it. It's not an easy thing to take advantage of. One, you have to have all the prerequisites, and two, you have to make it fit into your schedule, and that latter is also often a significant challenge. And a lot of kids who will sign up for the opportunity to take one of these courses don't get to take it simply for that reason, that it won't fit into their schedule and won't allow them to take the other courses that they want to take. Because they're off campus, they're typically at Beloit College, UW-Rock, or Blackhawk Tech. So that's that. Then in addition to that, we also had discussion about moving the dual language immersion program on into the third grade and even beyond. And it was a discussion at this point, and no motions were made, no decisions were made. But I think that the fact that we're having this discussion is testimony to the fact that the dual language immersion program for our youngest kids, kindergarten, first, second grade, is a success. And the enrollment is always full. It's not in all schools. We have kids who want to transfer into schools because of that. We have kids and their parents who want to transfer to our school district from a neighboring school district because of that opportunity. And half the day is taught in Spanish and half the day is taught in English. And the kids are all the way in both days. The classes are roughly 50-50 split between native English speakers and native Spanish speakers. And it's fun. The kids are excited. They like to show off. We had some come here to last year to one of our board meetings and show off a little bit for us, and they got a kick out of it, and so did we. We then talked about the WKCE Science and Social Studies data. That's been available online. If the new leadership of the board wants to bring that to the full board for discussion, they may so indicate. That's an option that will be available to them. And that basically was our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Are there any questions for John on curriculum or instruction? Seeing none, John Winkleman, I believe with Nora's laryngitis and fever, she asked if you would fill in for policy and personnel, please.
We'll certainly try. So on the 24th, we had a short policy personnel meeting, basically moving personnel recommendations to the full board at that night. And then on the 14th, we met again as a policy meeting. We approved minutes. We Todd Kabelka came and talked about a new exit interview questionnaire that people are working on to try to gather a little more information if people are leaving us and give us some ideas of how we might improve and or make their experience better. We have two policies coming, or a policy coming to us for first reading tonight, 453.2, student immunizations, and then the Rule 1 that goes with that. And then also energy policies 733 Rule and Rule 1, 733 and 733 Rule 1. Policies for second reading, we're updating district online learning for final reading, 343.7, and the revisions of the student conduct on buses, which is the second reading for that one, 443.2. Spent some time reviewing the master policy log. What this board member learned, reminded of, was that we have lots of policies, way in some ways too many, but we have millions of policies, what seems like. And we're continually working at them to review them and make sure that they're up to date and doing the best we can. So I know Nora has a game plan for that, and she'll bring that as we go to kind of take a look at where we go. And just for everybody's sake, anything can get put on the policy agenda at any time. So there's opportunities to step back and take a look at any time. We also reviewed personnel recommendations. There were no labor liaison updates, and legislative review, Missy reminded us that we need to move forward with conversation with legislators before the budget gets passed. And that was it.
Thank you. Are there any questions for John on policy or personnel? Seeing none, I'd move forward now with the consent list.
Move approval.
Second.
We are at the point of the agenda where all items marked with an asterisk on our agenda under consent list would be moved forward as the motion and the second has been made. That would be items A through F under approval of minutes of previous meetings, as well as approval of February financial summary. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. We are now at budget adjustments.
Move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next up is youth options for first semester 2015-2016.
Move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
John, would you accept a friendly amendment? I noticed that for 3 of the individuals, they do not meet the requirement of the School District of Beloit to have a 2.0 minimum GPA. There are another 2 that do not meet the requirement for UW-Rock County. However, they may make those requirements by the end of this year, but 3 of them currently do not have a GPA that would qualify them to even apply for youth options at this point with a 1.0, a 1.5, and a 1.9 GPA.
I'm looking, for example, at one here that applied UW-Rock County Intro to Public Speaking, and it was denied because they had a low GPA, no dollars. Are you looking at something different than that?
Yes, I am. There is the 1.9, which is also denied, the 1.5, which is denied,
Want
but
to
then
help
we...
me with the page number?
Oh, I'm sorry, page 56.
Okay.
So we have the 1.5, which is properly denied, the 1.0, which is properly denied, and the 1.9, which is properly denied. It's the 2.4 and the 2.4 that are accepted that I would ask that we, it would be pending on Rock County's.
Yeah, it's actually what it is. We did ask that same question in committee. Thank you, Shannon. And the answer is that if we think that there is a mathematical chance that they can get to that appropriate level by the time the class actually starts, we'll put them in there, but they can't go if they haven't hit that level. So that's how that works.
Outstanding. I appreciate that clarification. Are there any other questions or concerns? Seeing none, it's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion does carry. We're at 453.2, student immunizations, and 453.2, Rule 1, student immunization guidelines for first reading.
Madam President, I'd recommend that motion that we approve 453, item D and item E as one, since they're first readings, and they'll come back to us again.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. Moving forward with 733, energy conservation management.
That was E. D and E is what I said.
D and E. Thank you, John. And 343.7, district online learning for second reading, please.
Move approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion? This is for second reading. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. We are now at 443.2, student conduct on school buses for second reading.
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? I want to say thank you for those that looked at this. There was some tweaking to this policy, so I appreciate that in coming forward. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. We are now at personnel recommendations, and please refer to Exhibit A and the one that has been put in front of us this evening, which is the amended version of the personnel recommendations. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Dr. Johnson?
I'd just like to add that we have some individuals from our district who have served a long time and are retiring, and we will be thanking them in several ways as we come to the close of the school year. I'd also like to note that we have the hiring recommendation to the board of 2 assistant principals, one at Aldridge and one at Fran Frusen. We have recommended Rochelle Brown Clarity, who currently teaches at Todd's School, to be the assistant principal at Aldridge Intermediate School, and Mr. Matthew Kleinschmidt, who is in the audience tonight, who is a science teacher at Beloit Memorial High School, to be the assistant principal at Fran Frusen School. Those individuals were chosen by a 2-tier process committee design by a lot of folks from inside of the district, and I have ultimate confidence in both of those individuals to join the administrative team and make a big difference. I've had the opportunity to work with them both in other settings, and I have no doubt about their abilities. So congratulations pending approval, and thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for helping us better understand the hiring process, because it's certainly become more in-depth and more focalized on the school environment, so thank you for that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion passes. Next up, we have discussion items. Are there any items of interest for consideration at future meetings?
Shannon, I have a request for the superintendent. Is this the appropriate time, or you want me to wait?
This would be the, yes, definitely.
Dr. Johnson, I would like 2 reports. One, I would like a report on the privatization of our maintenance. I would like to know all the names of the people. I would like to know their years of service. I would like to know their position. I would like to know their ethnicity, and I would like to know the salary that they ended with. The second report that I would like a 5-year report on the expulsions of all students. I would like to know their names. I would like to know their grade level. I would like to know the policy violation. I would like to know the ethnicity, and I would like to know their age. Thank you.
Dr. Baskin, I think I've captured most of it, but if you would be so willing, could you please put that request also in an email format so that we don't miss any of those components?
Thank you.
Are there any other items of interest for consideration at future meetings? Seeing none, next we have the announcement of future board meeting dates. First, we have committee meetings on May the 12th, and that will include finance, transportation and property, curriculum and instruction, and policy and personnel. And our next business meeting shall be held here on May 26th, 2015. Seeing no objections at this point, we are adjourned, and thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night.